Surgery is sex, isn't it?
Is it?
You know it is. Surgery is the new sex.
So it have to be new sex.
Yes. Yes, it's time. When I was watching Caprice cut into you, I wanted...
Yeah.
I wanted you to be cutting into me. That's what I knew. What was that all about?
Just another epiphany. Art triumphs once again.
You're listening to The Night Before, a movie podcast. Each episode, we find a unique place in the city and share a drink and our thoughts about the movie we watched the night before. This is Lee, and I am joined, as always, by my husband, Jesse.
So, here we are at Dissent
You get a drink after the last movie.
Brewing in St. Petersburg, Florida.
First time.
First time here.
First time, long time.
What?
It's our first time here. Wanted to be here. It's our first time that we've wanted to try this place for a long
For
time.
a long time, yeah.
First time, long time.
Yeah, it's
No, they
pretty
say that
cool
on like
place.
radio call-in shows.
I really like the vibe here.
They used to
Good.
say,
First time, long time?
yeah, I'll take a caller. Say, hey, thanks for taking my call. First time, long time.
All I can think of is
Like a first time caller,
love
long
me
time listener.
Love me long time.
No. That's a movie reference, though. Full
Yes, it
Metal
is.
Jacket.
I know. Is it?
Mhm.
Is that what it's from?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's from a rap song in the 90s.
Oh, Two Live Crew used it in
Yeah.
a rap song.
Yeah.
All right. So
Anyway,
our last episode, we were in Crooked Thumb Brewing
Safety Harbor.
outside. It was rowdy.
We've moved south.
We got, I mean, a lot of people wanted to talk to us about the podcast.
I don't think anybody's going to talk to us
Because we
here.
recorded in public, as your intro tells us.
Yeah.
We pick a place in the city
Yes.
to share our drink and our thoughts.
And our thoughts of the night before.
Yeah. But no, Dissent is a really cool, chill place. Classic brewery, like in a nondescript sort of commercial strip of buildings.
Yep. They got the hockey game on.
Tampa Bay Lightning's playing.
And
But
music.
inside, it's like cool lighting, cool atmosphere. We're on some couches. We tried some
Cool
of their
logo.
IPAs, and now I'm on a sour.
So we tried a mango habanero.
Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry.
Sour.
Yes. Thank you very much, which is a really good sour.
Yeah, I mean, it's right on par with any berry sour
But it's
you've
not
had.
overly sour where you're like puckered up after you drink it.
Yeah.
You can. It's a drinkable sour.
hmm
I first tried mango habanero IPA. It's good.
Which we sometimes get at Troubled Water Brewing, which we did an
We do.
episode about a long time ago.
They have this one at Troubled Water.
No, they have a similar mango habanero.
And then I went ahead and got my next one before we started. And it's a guava milkshake IPA.
My
and
guava
it's
milkshake brings all the boys.
Really good. To the hood?
I don't know.
I don't know what reference that is.
It's a song.
My milkshake
Yeah. Bring the boys to the yard.
brings the boys to the
I was
yard.
going to say my guava milkshake IPA brings all the boys to the bar.
It's funny. Anyway, so we're here. And we're ready to record.
Yeah. I was going to say this place, Dissent, does a really good job with just their branding, look and feel.
Yeah, they do, for sure.
If we had our video podcast stuff in order yet, you'd get to see it, but we're not quite there yet.
Ah, that's going to be a good thing about the video, besides seeing us, which I'm not thrilled about, but seeing the inside of some of these breweries and kind of highlighting some of the places we love.
Yeah.
So I like that aspect of it as well.
So last night we saw a movie.
It was a movie.
David Cronenberg's Crimes of the Future.
We did. We did.
It was a movie.
It was a movie.
It was a movie unlike anything we've sat in a theater for a long time.
True. It was different.
Yeah. So I thought this episode 2, I mean, we're going to share our thoughts, but this might be one of our style episodes where we kind of just have to talk about what was happening. Like, what happened in this movie.
Right. How we were figuring it out together.
Yeah.
Sure. Because I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I was there and I watched
You were there
it,
in the theater.
but I have some questions. I have some thoughts. But where do you want to start?
I don't know. I guess overall, like,
Overall impression?
I guess, yeah, what do you think
What
of?
was yours?
Well, I went in excited because it's a
'Cause you
David
like-
Cronenberg film. He's done, I mean, he's known for doing weirder, over the top. The lightning just scored.
Woo!
I think they tied
Drink.
it. He's known for doing weirder, like body horror type
2 to 2.
movies.
Yeah.
He did The Fly most famously.
Mhm.
Videodrome, a movie called Crash. Not the more famous Sandra Bullock movie Crash.
Right.
A different one with James Spader. Videodrome. But they're all kind of weirder,
Weird movies.
cerebral type films. So I was excited because I've only seen one other David Cronenberg film in the theater, which was Crash, which came out in like 1997, 1998, which was about people who like to get in car crashes and mutilate their bodies and then become like sexually aroused through the crashes.
This is a theme in his movies. Pain and sexual arousal.
Yeah. The new
Right?
sex or the old sex?
The new sex.
This movie's about the new sex,
Yeah.
as it says in the film. No, so I will say, not since I've been in the movie Crash over 20-something years ago, have I felt the same way I felt sitting in the theater watching
Okay.
Crimes
I
of the
have
Future.
not seen Crash.
Which is...
And I have not previously been a Cronenberg fan or not a fan. I just haven't been.
Yeah, so my initial impression
Aware.
sitting in there is it's not uncomfortable. I don't think the movie makes you feel uncomfortable at all. I was expecting it to be a lot more uncomfortable and a bit gruesome, but it's not. It's really just people talking a lot about the future.
Yeah, I was expecting more uncomfortability and gore. Although there is that. But I was expecting
Yeah, but it's not like over the top in
more
that
over
way.
the top of it, and it wasn't. So I was glad about that because my expectation going in was, oh God, my eyes are going to be closed like the whole time. It's going to gross me out. But it didn't. It didn't gross me out.
No, it's not even about that stuff, right?
Yeah.
I think it just adds to it.
So
no,
what
it's-
is it about? Give us a quick synopsis.
Well, that's I think what we have to figure out, right?
Yeah.
Because it is the future. But see, I think here's the thing: it's the movie. The further one of the reviews I think I read out loud on Letterboxd last night was like the further you get away from it, the more you start to appreciate it.
Okay.
But that's the big question: is that it's like we say sometimes, like, oh, we saw a David Lynch movie. How are we to know that we saw one of the greatest movies ever made or one of the worst?
You don't.
Same thing with this film, right? So as the viewer, which I think maybe that's the point
Because
of
it's so different. There's not other movies made like that. So you don't know if
especially
hard to
movies you're
say.
going into an AMC theater to see.
yeah,
If you're in a small indie art house theater
it's different.
and you see a David Cronenberg film like Crimes of the Future,
You're like, okay.
you go, yeah, I expected that.
Yeah.
I expected to be confused, somewhat bored, disoriented, whatever, not connecting with it because it's an art house film and I'm supposed to think.
Yeah.
You're walking into an AMC theater
You don't expect that.
with your popcorn and your soda pop.
Mm-hmm. Soda pop.
Yeah, you're not quite expecting
Yeah.
that mind meld of a
True,
film.
true.
So that's the thing. So the further I've gotten away from it, the more I've liked it more and more thinking about it. Like it keeps getting better in my mind.
Okay.
But am I making it better by like filling in the gaps and the holes and painting the bigger picture that the film doesn't paint? Because in the moment of it, I was like, whew, this is a hard watch. Like,
I feel that way.
What is going on? I don't understand.
I understood what was going on. Like
Or what's the point of this? Like, why are we watching this?
grasp the story in the storyline and go along with what was happening. Like I could be okay with it. But for me, it was kind of, what's the point, boring in a way. I was kind of like, I didn't love it.
No, yeah.
I wanted to love it more.
You wanted to love it.
Because I want to be like, oh, I love this movie. David Cronenberg movie. Like, I want to be like...
You want to like the weird stuff.
Artsy like that.
Yeah.
I want to try to be like that. But if I'm honest with myself, the further I get away from it, the more I dislike it.
The more you dislike it. Ouch.
I didn't think it was a waste of time. I enjoyed sitting there in the movie with you watching it.
Yeah.
I'm glad I saw it. But I personally felt this is a little ridiculous.
Is it though?
I mean, yeah, it
because
is.
I think it pushes you as a movie viewer, like to really think, to think about. I don't know.
The chair, the bed, that stuff was ridiculous to me. I mean, I'm like, are we in Star Wars here? Like.
Okay, so there's two elements of it, right? And I think the more you get away from it, the more I like that stuff. Yeah, it opens up with
you
a young.
Like it more?
Yeah.
See, the more I get away from it, the more I'm like, that's ridiculous.
Well, and I think some of it meant to be a little tongue in cheek. I don't know. But I mean, it starts off and it's a young boy eating a trash can.
Yes. And then.
He like eats.
Plastic.
He's eating plastic. And you, as the viewer, are like, what's going on? Like, why is he?
His mom's kind of disgusted by it.
His mom's disgusted by it. It's in the first 5 minutes. She suffocates him.
Kills him.
Kills her son. All because he's eating a plastic garbage can and
well,
enjoying
you think
it.
That's all.
Yeah. But then it cuts to. Yeah, like Viggo Mortensen, who's the main character, Saul. Mm-hmm. Who's having trouble sleeping. He sleeps in this weird flesh-like bed. That's so, and then he cuts to him eating breakfast in a weird chair.
Breakfast chair.
It's called the breakfaster.
Breakfaster, yeah.
Which moves.
It's basically like an alien.
Well, no. So there's this furniture in the future. So this is what I mean. We have figured out, right?
That attaches to your body.
Yeah.
Things are like attached to his hands and whatnot.
Yeah,
while
the movie
he's
doesn't sit and explain to you and say, in the future there is furniture that is like a bioengineered furniture that is somewhat a mix of normal furniture, but with some sort of organic, lifelike material.
That is programmed for your body, because these people that use these furnitures in this movie are growing organs within their body that are not normal amounts of organs.
That's what I
in
mean.
their
So
body.
explain this movie. The movie's in the future, and it's like a bleak future, and our bodies are evolving and changing.
So in order for them to digest food, they kind of have to be like rotating and moving in a certain way, but it is engineered.
Which you told me, which is like a real thing. These chairs help you move your organs.
Because in the hospital, if you have a problem, like for example, if your stomach is nicked or your intestines or something happens, they have to actually bloat your body. Mm-hmm. And then they have to rotate it in order for your systems to work properly, which I think these breakfaster chairs and even the sleeping things are simulating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the future here, some people's bodies are changing and evolving. They're growing new organs that may or may not have a purpose in their body.
They're just there.
And so they're changing, right? And some of it is like, if you want to get like arty and political, you can say there's this very subtle commentary on the destruction of man and natural resources, and because they live in a world that's just desolate. And food is a mush.
Right. It's just
And-
mushed up.
And in order to eat properly and sleep properly, you have to be in these machines that are almost creature-like.
Creature-like machines. They're like
that
alien
are toned,
type.
like you said, that are tuned to your body.
Tuned to your body. They're engineered for your body. They even have like little hand-like things that attach to your hands.
Yes. And the breakfaster chair kind of looks like a skeleton, and it moves your head and body
your
and stuff.
spine and body.
Because people are having trouble eating. Viggo Mortensen
breathing.
is constantly choking and can't get his mush down.
Yeah.
But the world has changed. These organs are changing, and our digestive systems are changing into this more like plastic-based diet. Because plastic's everywhere.
So this is going to be a dumb question.
Yeah.
I could never get straight how the organs got tattooed and put back in.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the case where they just never showed you.
I didn't understand that aspect of it because, I mean, at the end, there's this huge thing that has to do a lot with that. But, so certain organs and certain people are tattooed.
Well, they do these performance art
Yeah.
because everyone also, it's also weird in the future because of the numbing of the human condition. No one experiences pain anymore. So pain's gone. So that's the other part. There's a lot of little stories happening in this
So the
film.
tattooing is happening during the performance art?
I think I just took it as, because it's Viggo Mortensen, Saul, and his partner, his performance partner, Caprice. They are
Performance artists.
They perform these artists. He
and
grows
the
organ.
performance of the art is on his body.
Yeah.
Because he's growing these organs in order to artistically display her removing them
Yeah.
and putting them on display,
Yes.
which is going against the new society's view of you should be keeping these organs and letting the human body evolve into what it's supposed to evolve. He's going against that, which is
Yeah.
artistic because he's removing the organs.
Well, you're supposed to register any new organs
But he's
that
not
emerge.
keeping them in his body. He's growing them for the purpose of the performance art and having them removed.
And he's removed, yeah. But it's also saving his life, maybe, because he talks at one point about he could die if he kept having these organs. Yeah, and there's some weird stuff about the National Organ Registry, because you're supposed to register any new organs you grow. There is a bit about the tattooing of the organs at the very beginning.
Yeah, there is some about
But
that.
you don't know enough about it to really
It's confusing.
pay enough attention. So I take it as she tattoos them, because he says, "What's the next tattoo?" Maybe it's mother, maybe it's whatever, and then one of his organs has the word mother tattooed on it.
So then I'm trying to figure out the ending.
And there's this whole police unit, government. They're trying to cover up this new species, the evolution of humans becoming addicted or only eating and digesting plastic.
Right.
So, I mean, 'cause I think ultimately that's where the movie ends up. It's going towards the acceptance of the change towards plastic.
People are just accepting their change. They don't have to produce food anymore. They're producing plastic as food.
Yeah. It's this movement, this resistance to make plastic as the new food,
Line the world.
right?
Yeah.
So, like I said, finding the point of it is a little
It's difficult.
head scratching.
It is. It's like, yeah, it's a little weird.
But
And then, of course, they bring the whole sexual element into it, which is even weirder. Like, since they don't feel pain, sex has changed.
For Kristen Stewart's character, Timlin, who acts weird and eccentric and strange.
Okay, well, let's stop there for a second. This is fine. Okay.
It's like an exaggeration of her Spencer role.
Let me tell you, I'm going to say something controversial right now. She's not a good actress.
Well,
Because, no. I'm going to tell you that every time I see her in a role,
yeah.
she's acting too much.
I mean, she was definitely
She
more over the top in
overacts.
this one.
It's with Spencer, too. It's too much. She doesn't fit the character. She's a terrible actress. Like, I think she's a terrible actress. Maybe she was good in the vampire suit thing
Twilight.
she did. I don't know. I never saw that.
Yeah, I never saw it.
And maybe that's what obviously what made her famous. So maybe that was good. But these last two movies she's done that have been big, I think she's the worst part of the movie.
Well, I would say in this film, unfortunately for
she's
her,
really bad.
in a movie where everybody was sort of weird and eccentric and out there, right? She does stand out as the character of like, what's she doing? Like, why is she talking and acting that way?
But her acting seems so unnatural. She never, like, grasps the role that she's playing. Like Spencer, she seemed so unnatural in that role. This role I felt was so unnatural. Like, everybody else seemed their natural character except her.
Yeah.
Like, it was bad. She really took away from the movie.
No, like I said, in a movie full of weird characters, she stood out by trying to be too weird, too over the top. Yeah.
Yeah. And just
And apparently, which the
unnaturally.
movie doesn't give you too much with her, she has this almost villainous role. Like, she's kind of the antagonist.
She's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But she's so awkward in that role. She doesn't really become that. Like,
Yeah.
she doesn't fully
So
develop
my question,
her character.
my question is kind of speaking of this, the two female characters who work.
Caprice.
What's that? No,
Caprice?
Caprice, not
Oh.
Caprice. The two female characters
Oh, yeah,
who
yeah,
work
yeah.
for the biomedical
Yeah.
furniture company.
Uh-huh.
Their job is to go in and tune the machines, the breakfaster, the bed, the operating
They
machine.
seemed They played their roles more naturally than she did.
Well, no, they were good.
And
I'm
she's
saying
a big-time actress.
my question is, what was the only? I can't quite figure out whose side they were on, what they were doing, what was their purpose.
I don't either. I think they were like a sideshow.
No,
I don't
because
even know.
they were going around assassinating people.
Yeah, I know. I could not figure out they were like the.
They didn't work for the police.
That's
Because
what
the
I'm saying. They were
police
like a
wanted-
sideshow. I don't even know.
The police detective wanted Viggo Mortensen's character, the main performance guy, to infiltrate the plastic eaters.
Yes.
Infiltrate them because the plastic eaters wanted a public autopsy of the dead son, the kid who ate the trash can.
Yeah.
They wanted a public autopsy of him to reveal his new plastic digestive system.
What's happening to people? The
That-
reality of it.
Yeah, that mankind has evolved.
It's changing.
The
And-
police wanted to cover that
and
up.
This happened because of genetics.
Yes.
That was the thing about the son.
Yeah.
That he was born with this.
Yes. He's a first
Which is
generation.
different from
But yeah, because others had taken
others had developed it.
or no, they had taken they had surgeries done, and there
Right.
was a firmware update. They said you could get certain programs or things done to your body, but this was a natural birth.
Genetic kind of. I mean, inherited
Yeah.
type thing.
So the plastic eaters wanted Saul Viggo Mortensen to expose that. The police detective wanted Saul to go undercover and kind of
Figure out what
take
these
down these
people were
plastic
doing.
reapers.
Yeah.
Plastic eaters.
Stop it. Yeah.
Which the police were also using Kristen Stewart's character, Timlin, to kind of help sabotage the plastic eaters. Like she was working for them or whatnot, or at least the National Organ Registry folks, they were just worried about always getting in trouble.
Yeah.
But then you had the two other women who went around fixing the biomedical furniture, but were also killing people.
Yeah. Because they killed the guy.
They killed a couple people.
Yeah.
I don't even know who the other guy was they killed in the breakfaster.
They, to me, were okay, so when you watch Home Alone, you have the two burglars.
The wet bandits?
That was their role in this movie.
Yeah.
Like subtly.
So I'm going to say this.
Not as...
I'm definitely watching this movie again.
I may or may not watch it with you.
Well, because I think one thing I liked about it is you spend the whole film, even all this
You
stuff,
spend figuring out what's happening.
you're just really trying to understand this world.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing in here, like I was watching it, one or two people left the theater while we were watching it, and I'm like, oh, they're walking out.
Did they?
No, they came back.
they came back.
They just went to the bathroom.
No, it wasn't you got to walk out of the movie.
No, it was never grotesque enough to walk out. It was never offensive. Now, there was a thing I was shocked to see in a film.
Oh, the naked boy.
Yeah, a naked child.
You never see that, a fully naked boy, little boy.
And that was funny. That's when one woman walked out, and I was like, oh, this is too much for her. But then she came back. I think she just went to the bathroom.
There was a lot of nudity.
Yep, a lot of nudity. But again,
mostly women, but some men, and little boy.
Yeah, but nothing's ever grotesque, even in the quote, new sex.
And there's sexuality.
The new sex, which was about cutting and surgery. And
so they were turned on, or what gave them pleasure or orgasm.
Mutilation, not self-mutilation, but mutilation of yourself.
Of yourself or your partner mutilating you.
Like the sexual turn-on.
Was a sexual turn-on, and it also became the mark of beauty.
Yeah.
Like mutilating your face.
Oh, I know. Like when Caprice came back and she had mutilated her face.
Her forehead.
Because she had seen the model.
The model mutilating her face, like putting scar lines and flesh bubbles in her
like that.
face.
Some of it is like this over-the-top commentary on society and beauty
and how people follow.
But I felt it never, even though it's so in your face, at the same time, it wasn't in your face either. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I did.
Well, they weren't preaching to you about it.
If I could find something to like about it, I think that would be it. Like, I did like the commentary on the beauty, the commentary on sex. Like, what is pleasurable? Like, who defines what's pleasurable? Who defines what's beautiful? Who defines this? That evolves and rotates even to the point of something ridiculous seeming beautiful or sexual or enjoyable or whatever. So I did like that commentary on it. That underlying theme of it. Or not even underlying.
Now again, that's so now that we said, because I don't think we've really spoiled all that much. We've kind of just talked about in general.
No. There's no spoiling.
Trying to figure out what it is. But that's why I want to watch it again now that I have a grasp and understanding. Because I think the trailer oversells it. The trailer makes it seem like, ooh,
it's grotesque.
This is going to be rough.
Yeah.
But like I said, when I started with this, I saw the movie Crash, which I'd love to see again. And I only saw Crash in the theater in 1997 or 98 because I was 17 or 18 years old at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that David Cronenberg made weird movies, but it was also labeled as a taboo movie. This Crash at the time was rated NC-17.
Taboo movies, you said?
Taboo, yeah, because it was rated NC-17.
Yeah.
Just because it was intense subject matter. And so that's what attracted me there. Like, oh, I got to see this in an AMC movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, I think the trailer tried to make you feel like this is going to be an intense, uncomfortable movie.
More than it actually was.
But I don't think it was at all.
I mean, I think there were some uncomfortable parts, for sure. But not so uncomfortable.
Cuts.
And it depends who you are, obviously, and what you're comfortable with. I don't like gore and violence at all.
Yeah, but
I'll watch movies with it.
This movie really had, apart from a murder.
I didn't feel like this was too gory or violent anyway.
But like I said at the beginning, the feeling the movie gives you, this like emptiness and
True.
despair
True. Yeah.
and like tension, confusion, all of it is a feeling you rarely feel in a movie.
True.
And granted, I could see the argument, who would want to drop $15 to sit in a dark room for 2 hours with a bunch of strangers and feel that way?
Right. Though, given, taking another thing on that feeling, why was Vigo, whatever his name is,
Viggo Mortensen saw
running around in like hooded, masked, black?
like a ninja.
Yeah. Why?
I viewed it as he was, well, 2 reasons. One,
He was too like famous and
he's a famous performer.
organ. Okay.
He's a famous body artist performer. Like everybody comes to see him
Okay.
be cut open and his organs emerge. Because there's these weird organic like devices. Like even electronics aren't like now, like a slick iPhone. It's
Right,
these
right,
weird,
right.
fleshy,
Everything's flesh looking. Yeah.
fleshy, moist,
Yeah.
glistening things that have LED lights all in them that they touch and
It's
control.
like their remote control.
Like even scalpels and things are like weird skeleton arm,
yeah.
fleshy tentacle.
Everything's modeled after the human body, like
Yeah.
muscle, flesh, bone,
Yeah.
kind of.
So he's famous and popular, so he kind of
Okay.
keeps himself
Okay.
covered. The other thing is he's sick.
Oh,
Like the whole movie,
that's true.
he's always
Trying to swallow.
like he's coughing, he can't swallow, he hasn't eaten.
I'm trying to think like his outfit and how he like creeps around the town. What movie that reminds me of? There is a movie
Yeah.
that it reminds me of something. And I'm like, this is weird that he's like walking around like this in this outfit.
Yeah.
That he's like hidden in the shadows at all times, Because I guess it's illegal what he's doing. That's another reason that they're
Yeah.
getting rid of the organs.
Yeah, because they're not registering.
She's
they're
not
getting rid of
a
them.
surgeon. But I guess it doesn't matter at this point because
Yeah,
there's
they
no
talk
pain
about
or
how-
infection.
They talk about how anybody can be a surgeon now
because of how the body's involved, there's no infection.
nobody gets sick from infections. Yeah. That's what I mean. Just the world that this is in, they don't say, here's the year or here's what's happening.
Yeah.
It's, you just piece it together.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they use old, like 8mm cameras to film stuff. They use old television sets. So it's also a world in which there's no like really new emergent technology. So you kind of have to piece and build that world together yourself.
True.
You know, one thing I really like too.
What?
I just want to get the name right. I thought the score by Howard Shore was really, really good.
You know what? I cannot recall the score.
No, well, there was
honestly.
nothing over the top.
Okay.
They had this like, it was almost like a horn, the same sort of sound
Okay.
over and over.
I'll have to listen to it again.
And I really like that.
Oh,
I felt
okay.
it matched the bleakness of the
The
film really
tone.
well,
Hmm.
but it was nothing that droned on
Mood.
either.
Yeah. I cannot recall the score, but
No, it was good. So on our second watch, you have to really pay attention to that score.
I'll try to do that. I will try to do that.
No, but I think much like a new festering organ inside one's body,
Hmm.
this might just be a movie that grows on me
Festers.
more and more
Maybe.
until I remove it and purge it from my body.
I don't think it's going to fester on me.
No, I don't think so.
I think I'm one and done on it.
No, but think about it, right? We've seen Top Gun Maverick recently.
Mhm.
We saw Worst Person in the World and Love Language Lessons.
Mhm.
Good movies for what they are.
Mhm.
But
This is different.
I do appreciate a movie that just comes at you from another angle.
I agree. I agree with that.
And you're
It's
just
definitely
like-
different.
And again, I did not enjoy sitting in that. Part of me was like, I'm ready for this to end. When is this going to end? And like the boy reemerges in the last act. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. What does the boy?
It starts
have
and
to
ends
do
with the
all
boy.
this?
So we're
Yeah.
good. We're almost at the end.
Yeah.
But as it ends, I feel it's just about when you're like, okay, I'm getting this. I'm in it. So I appreciate a movie like that.
Yeah. I didn't feel that way, but
It's
I
rare that a
did-
movie gets under your skin a bit
I did
and sits with you to think about.
attach myself to the boy story.
Yeah.
Like the boy story that it came back around at the end was intriguing to me.
Well, then you start realizing, oh, that's what this movie's all about.
Yeah.
Not the boy, but the whole circumstances surrounding the boy.
Yeah.
And you go, okay,
For sure.
that's what I liked.
Yeah. Agreed.
So I was thinking,
So it's different.
if you, even though they're very different filmmakers, they both live in that realm of the unconventional,
Mhm.
and they borderline on, is it the best or the worst? And do
David
people
Lynch
like it
or
only
Cronenberg?
because it's weird? Yeah, but if you had to pick and choose, where are you going? Are you going to a David Lynch film, or are you doing a David Cronenberg film?
Well, here's the thing. They both are cult followers.
Yeah,
You know,
no, I'm
they
saying
both
it's your
have.
personal choice.
My personal choice, I'm going towards David Lynch,
Yeah.
like Blue Velvet, stuff like that, all the
Yeah.
way. I think they're completely different because storylines and whatnot are different. I don't love everything David Lynch does. I'm not a cult follower of David Lynch. However, I do appreciate some of the things he does and like some of the things he does a lot. I struggle with getting through some of his long, quiet pauses and whatnot. And I don't struggle with that with Cronenberg. But
Yeah, Cronenberg's pacing is better.
Cronenberg's pacing is better. Cronenberg is more sci-fi, and I tend to veer away from sci-fi
Yeah,
than Lynch is.
yeah.
I mean, there's sci-fi elements
No,
to
yeah.
Lynch, but it's different.
No, I was just curious because they're
Yeah.
both just sort of like weirdo cinema / love them, hate them, and are they
Weird-
just being
I
weird
don't
for the
love or
sake of
hate
weird?
them.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the middle
Yeah. It's
with
that.
them. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I'm
Yeah.
in the middle.
I mean, I think you know me. I'm much more of a David Lynch fan than I
Yeah.
am a David Cronenberg.
But it was fun. It was an interesting movie
like
to
I
go
said, I
see.
was-
I'm glad we saw it.
That's why we were racing to the theater opening weekend for Cronenberg's Crimes of the Future,
Yeah,
because you don't see weirdo movies like that
true.
in the movie
you
theater.
You don't.
And
It's
we had a
different.
we had a packed theater. And it was a small theater,
Mhm.
but it was full.
It was pretty full. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
And I think everybody in there, when lights came up, everybody was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we got this.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to end when it did.
Yeah, it just sort of,
It just sort of ended.
like,
Like,
we're
okay, this
fin-
is done. There was no like warning that it was
Yeah.
coming to an end.
It's not.
There's like, where's this going? What's the point?
Yeah. So I
kind
do
of
appreciate some of that. Just,
the David Lynch Cronenberg sloppiness.
it's like, hey, Cronenberg is a well-established actor, a director, a writer, but this also looks like a weird art college film.
Yeah. No,
So,
I
I
thought
don't
the
know.
best actress in it was Caprice. I
Yeah.
thought she was the best in the movie.
Mhm.
She reminded me of Scarlett Johansson. Didn't she look like Scarlett Johansson with short hair to
Yeah,
you?
I could see it. I could see
She
it.
really did
I
to
can see
me.
it.
I thought she was the best actress in it over Vigo, whatever his name is.
Viggo
and-
Mortensen.
Huh?
Viggo Mortensen from, you know him.
Yeah.
We know him. We hang out with him.
Or definitely over Kristen Stewart. This was a fail for her, I feel
Ouch.
like. I know, I don't mean to be rude, but she's not going to listen to this podcast.
I don't think she listens.
Probably.
It's not that kind of podcast.
I'm just going to say I've given her 2 chances. Diana, or Spencer, which I was really excited to see. Oh, the game's over. 2-3. and now this, and I have not enjoyed her performance in either. But so Caprice, whatever the actress's name is, who played Caprice, was really good.
Yeah. All right. I think we
liked
should end
her.
it here.
Okay.
I feel pretty confident after our conversation that at least it's not going to end up in your bottom 5 for the year.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. I don't think so.
So
Okay.
it's crawling up my letterbox top 12 though.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
All right, let's get out of here.
All
Let's
right,
cheers
let's
before
go.
anybody else wants to chat
Cheers.
about our podcast. And bye.
Bye.